Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Guilds of Ravnica Draft here on the channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, welcome. I mean, it is a YouTube exclusive video, so that's where you gotta be watching it. But, yeah, before I begin, I would like to remind you that if you enjoy the video, be sure to click that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to get updates for whenever I post new content and join the community. Also, if you have any questions, be sure to leave those in the comments. And I do want to let you know that, I really do appreciate everyone who leaves a thumbs up. If you're already a subscriber, it's the best way to show your support, or just leave a comment, but it's really great. So looks like the magic gods are giving us redemption. Last draft, I got to first pick an Aurelia Exemplar of Justice. This draft, it looks like I'm going to do the exact same thing. It's just a bomb rare, so I'm definitely taking it over things like Watcher in the Mist, Rock Charger, Hasda Marshal. It's just a very good card. Last time I messed up in game one of the finals. I messed up, and on one turn I played the turn wrong after watching it back. So it's giving me another chance to maybe play Boros. So I'm definitely taking Aurelia and trying to play Boros after that. It might not work out, but Aurelia is a strong card. It's even splashable, I think. Like, if you play some decks, you can just splash white or splash red, because it is that good. So we're not committed to Boros, but it would be nice if we got to play Boros. Okie doke. So if I knew I was going to play Boros, I would take Heart here, but I'm not sure I'm going to be playing Boros. Arboretum Elemental, not really a card I'm a super big fan of. I do like Crawl Harpooner. We could play Selesnya Splash Red for Aurelia. Watcher in the Mist is another one that's of interest. We could play Watcher in the Mist, play Blue-Red Splash White for Aurelia. I'm just trying to maximize my chance of playing Aurelia. I think Crawl Harpooner is actually a little bit better than Watcher in the Mist. Watcher in the Mist is quite good, but I think Crawl Harpooner is a little bit better. Just so efficient for a 2-drop. And it oftentimes can kill their guy. Also, Selesnya is horrifically underdrafted, so I'm going to take Crawl Harpooner here over Watcher. I think it's a little bit better. And I'm not even trying to be too tricksy or anything when I say that. Okay, Glowspore Shaman could be a sign that maybe I draft Golgari. Crawl Harpooner and Glowspore Shaman are two pretty good cards in Golgari. What else is in this pack? Wee Dragonauts. I don't think Wee Dragonauts is insane or anything. It's definitely just fine in my opinion. I could take Blade Instructor, leave myself a little bit more open. It works in Selesnya. It's not like the greatest in Selesnya, but it definitely can work, and it's pretty nice in Boros. So that's another option. The Mentor cards are really key in Boros. There's also an Electromancer, which is a good Izzet card. I don't think I want to go into the Glowspore Shaman route. Glowspore Shaman. Looks like Izzet might be open. And of the Izzet cards, I like Electromancer the best. So I think I'm going to take the Electromancer over the Blade Instructor. Keep myself flexible. And a little bit rewarded here. Maybe not really. I wouldn't say rewarded necessarily. Never mind. I was thinking that Electromancer works pretty well with Direct Current. So that's kind of like a reward. But it's just a red card. And red is the color that I'm trying to play. I think blue-red, white-red. Green-white's not looking as good. I could take Healer's Hawk, but if I'm looking to splash the Aurelia, it's a little bit less good. I think I'm going to take the Direct Current here, and then I can still play Izzet Splash Aurelia. Healer's Hawk is premium. If I knew I was playing Boros, I would take Healer's Hawk over Direct Current, which is kind of insane, but I think that it's correct to do that. Healer's Hawk is just so good in Boros. But I think since I could play Izzet Splash Aurelia, I'm just going to take the Direct Current. And yeah, hopefully it works out. Okay, so there's a Sonic Assault. There's also a Sure Strike. I do like Sonic Assault a decent amount, but not insane. It's nice, but not the greatest. This is a very interesting draft. I'm actually enjoying this one quite a bit. I don't think Samala Woodshaper is insane, though having a bomb really makes Samala Woodshaper a lot better, because if you find your Aurelia off of Samala Woodshaper, it does get a lot better. Yeah, I do want to maximize my odds of playing Aurelia, though. So I'm trying to play either Selesnya or Izzet or Boros. Right now it's looking like Izzet is the most open. I'm going to take the Sonic Assault here over the Sure Strike. And I think Izzet is the direction that I'm going to be going, though I am far from committed. And here, I think I'm going to take a Leapfrog. I think I've been a little bit down on Leapfrog. I think it's much better than I've been treating it. As in, playable but not insane. Whereas I've been treating it as unplayable. It's between that and Rebel Pelt Boar. Maybe Rebel Pelt Boar is better. It is more expensive, which is something I don't like at all about it. Also, the evasion's pretty nice on Leapfrog. I'm going to give Leapfrog another chance here, I think. I think that Intrusive Pack Beast is not a signal that white is open because nobody really takes this card. 5-drops are just super expensive. I want to keep my curve as low as possible, so I'm just going to take the Leapfrog here. Passwall Adept, Izzet Guildgate. So it does look like Izzet is the colors that I'm supposed to be in, which is really nice that I waffled a little bit. I could have taken a Watcher in the Mist over the Crawl Harpooner, but I think it's fair to do. But Passwall Adept, Rebel Pelpor, or Izzet Guildgate. As I said, I'm not a huge fan of taking 4-drops or higher. Passwall Adept is a fine 2-drop. Got some nice utility in the late game. Or the Guildgate to help my splash. I think I really want to find Guildgate to make white mana, but I think making the Aurelia splash work is way more important than having the Passwall Adept. So I'm going to take the Gate. And now a Mesmerist. I could take Glaive potentially. Glaive has some upside because I'm going to maybe play like 4 Guildgates, but I think that the Vedalken Mesmerist is a pretty nice card to have in an Izzet potentially aggro deck. And Sonic Assault and Leapfrog are making me think it's going to be more aggro, so I like Mesmerist. And now it's between Mesmerist and another Gate, or a Fire Urchin. I'm not a huge... I think Mesmerist is better than Fire Urchin. I already have 1 Gate. I'm going to keep up the pressure with these Mesmerists. I think Mesmerist is a pretty nice card. And now I'm going to take Maximize Altitude. I think Maximize Altitude is better than Cosmotronic Wave because it's cheaper. It's more useful early in the game. It's not really an all-in card, and Maximize Altitude is really nice with some of the cards that care about casting spells, like the Piston Fist. I don't like Gravitic Punch. I don't really like Muse Drake, and I don't like Maximize Altitude. But those are my three choices here. I'll take Gravitic Punch over Muse Drake. I really don't like Muse Drake that much. Now I'll take a Righteous Blow. I got another Maximize Altitude. I'm not sure I'm going to play it. I really think I need a couple more payoffs before I played it, but these are my spells right now. Got a Pack Beast. I'm going to take the Locket. Locket could help with fixing if I really, really need it, if I'm desperate. So I like my curve so far. I have 5 creatures. I think Izzet is tricky to draft because there's a lot of cards that don't directly impact the board, but you still want to play them. But I think Aurelia is worth splashing, so I'm going to try and splash it if I can. Hopefully I can pick up some Boros Guildgates. Guildmages Forum is interesting. It's basically it's like a tri-land in many cases. Helps me slash Aurelia. It can make my Electromancer a 3/3. I'm not sure if that's worth it though. I think Nightveil Sprite might just be better for the deck. It just sets me up so well. I can mill my jumpstart cards. It's a nice 2-drop. I think it's definitely between Forum and Nightveil Sprite. I don't want to take an Unexplained Disappearance. I already kind of have some cards that don't really do too much. I think Maximize Altitude is one of my weaker cards right now, but I think it's necessary because of the Leapfrogs I'm probably going to get and stuff like that. I like cards that definitely do something that impact the board. Sonic Assault is in a similar camp, but I think it's good enough to play. Guildmages Forum. I don't think I get as many gold cards. I do get a lot of gold cards in Nightveil Sprite or Guildmages Forum. I'm going to take the Sprite. Man. I'm going to take the Guildmages Forum. I think the fact that it can help me splash my Aurelia is the real swinger there. The real decider. Also the fact, I was going to say it when I made the pick, but I didn't have time because I made it last second. Cards like Whisper Agent and Fresh-Faced Recruit are cards that are good in this deck, and they also work with the Forum, so I think the Forum is a nice pickup. That being said, would I rather have Fresh-Faced Recruit or Whisper Agent? I already have a couple 2-drops. I do like Whisper Agent a good deal. It's a little bit harder to cast. Flashing in a 4/3 is really nice, though. I think Whisper Agent is better than Fresh-Faced Recruit, but it's tricky to say which one I'd want here. because I am looking like I'm going to be playing a pretty aggressive deck. It's definitely between those two cards for me. Nothing else even comes close. I'm going to go with the cheaper card. When in doubt, the cheaper card is often correct, especially if you're a relatively aggressive deck. Here, I can take Capture Sphere, or I can take Fresh-Faced Recruit. Capture Sphere is removal. Fresh-Faced Recruit is another aggressive 2-drop. Capture Sphere is nice, but it's not an instant or a sorcery, so it doesn't help my Leapfrog out. Fresh-Faced Recruit. This is tricky. Very tricky. Also, another reason the Whisper Agent is risky is because double blue is a little bit harder when you're trying to splash a red-white card, because it incentivizes you to play like Boros Guildgates. Would I rather have Capture Sphere or Fresh-Faced Recruit? Indrik isn't a really nice card, but I'm not going to splash it. I'm going to take Fresh-Faced Recruit. I'd rather have just a very consistent curve. Ooh. First Strike and Vigilance. There's an additional main combat phase followed by an additional main phase. I'm not sure if this card is even worth it, because I mean, like, I can cast it, but it's like double red. It might even just be better to take the Guildgate to help my mana out. I think I'm going to take the Guildgate. Kind of odd. Resurgence just doesn't do a ton because my creatures aren't that big, so it doesn't like giving them Vigilance, like a lot of them can't really attack that well anyway. Okay. Garrison Sergeant, not really what I want to do. This isn't even a gate. How is this not a gate? It's a gate forum. Okay. Bounty of Might is good. I'm just gonna take the crab for the sideboard, I think. There's not really a ton else for me. Healer's Hawk is quite nice. I don't think I'm gonna transition out of blue-red though into red-white. I just don't think the signals were there pack 1. And I still have hope for this pack. That'll give me some good stuff. Maximize velocity is pretty bad, and I'm not splashing a Garrison Sergeant, so pretty easy crab for me. And now, this is actually a little bit closer. Mesmerist is a really nice 2-drop. I already have 5 2-drops, though. Electrostatic Field isn't looking great in this deck. I have 3 instants and sorceries, but they can also be flashbacks, kind of, so I think I kind of want Sure Strike here. I don't really want Barging Sergeant. I don't really want any cards in my aggro decks that cost more than 4. And I only want like 1 or 2 4-drops. Like 3 is like the most 4-drops I'd want to play. That's why Capture Sphere goes down a little bit, because I want to play 16 lands a lot of the time. This time I might play 17. Guildmages Forum is really nice for playing 17 because it counts as like a spell in many cases. I don't like Electrostatic Field here. I'm going to take Sure Strike. I think it's going to work out really nicely. And I got a Mesmerist anyway. I think taking the combat tricks aggressively is key for the aggro decks, especially blue-red, because blue-red doesn't really get a good combat trick in blue. Wojek Bodyguard. Hype! Oh my gosh, Wojek Bodyguard is the key in this deck. It is the truth. How do I get an 8th pick Wojek Bodyguard? Man. So back to my conversation. I mean, I'm not taking Ornery Goblin over Wojek. Wojek is so good in this deck. Any 2-drop into Wojek is really good, especially when it's Fresh-Faced Recruit or Mesmerist. So good. I really like Sure Strike in this type of deck, because the other combat trick that blue would get is Dazzling Lights, which isn't necessarily as good, especially when Fresh-Faced Recruit is one of your 2-drops, because if Fresh-Faced Recruit can't attack, Dazzling Lights doesn't help it really attack. Anyway, so I'm going to snap up the Wojek Bodyguard here easily. Now I get an Unexplained Disappearance. Blue also this is also another kind of card that blue gets to help aggro the opponents out. Okay, so we got the Disappearance. Cosmotronic Wave for the sideboard. Yeah. Doesn't really matter what we're taking here. Guess we'll take the Rages. You never know when you'll want to just go Fresh-Faced Recruit into Rage. We haven't seen any Boros Guildgates yet, but I still have hope. We're definitely running 17 lands in this deck, because we are going to have more tap lands, because we're splashing the Aurelia. We're probably going to have 3 tap lands, maybe even 4. To help facilitate it. But this deck is looking good. The Mesmerists are really good early. They help your other creatures attack. They're good in multiples because they just, combined, they just shut down creatures completely. I think this draft has been pretty fun to do as well. It's one of those ones where you're just kind of looking for what's open. I'll take this guy. More likely to play than a gate. We got Mesmerist back anyway. This card is criminally underrated in my opinion. Like, I should not be getting a second to last pick Mesmerist, but I feel like a lot of people in the Magic community don't treat it as a real card. Like, I have 4 Mesmerists. I could run like 6 Mesmerists in this deck. Okay. So, not a ton of stuff for me. There's a Gateway Plaza for if I really wanted to splash Aurelia, but I don't think I want to go that deep. Because that implies like I take a turn off, and I'd rather not have to do that. I could take a Gate. I could take a Robo-Pelt Boar. I think I am going to take the Robo-Pelt Boar. I do need... the Gate is nice. It's between the Gate and the Robo-Pelt Boar. I don't really need the Robo-Pelt Boar, I guess, but it is nice to have a couple of things to cost more than 2. And I do want to make sure I hit playables. I would ideally get a Boros Guild Gate. I'm going to get another Gate this pack. So I feel like I can afford to take the Robo-Pelt Boar here. Well, that was a kind of a whiff of a pack. They took the rare, so it's not like they took a card from me. There's just no commons that I want. Fire Urchin, I guess, is the pick. It's another 2-drop, but it's not a great 2-drop. It's pretty bad in the context. I mean, I have some instance, but would rather not have had to take this. Like, I would have much rather there just been a Sure Strike in that pack or something. That's the nature of draft, though. It's the classic where there's a pack like that immediately followed by a pack that has like every card you could possibly want. But such is draft. Okay, this is a trickier pick. So Smeltward Minotaur, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 instants right now. 5 instants or sorceries. I think I'm going to take that over the Sonic Assault. I do just want to have as many creatures as I can. I already have 5 instants. That's already quite a lot. And you want to have as many creatures as you can get. So I'm going to take the Smeltward. Sonic Assault is really nice, though, but maybe it'll come back. I don't think it will, but you can always hope. Oh, baby! Yes! Oh, man. Oh, man. This is... So my deck may be aggressive, but Niv-Mizzet is such a bomb. It's got to be correct to take it, right? I would just cut Aurelia, run my aggressive blue-red deck, and then just have Niv-Mizzet as top end. Alternatively, I could just take Wojek Bodyguard. I think it's actually correct to take Wojek Bodyguard. This is a 6-drop, and it's really hard to cast. How can that possibly be? I'm not a control deck. I just literally... I know I'm going to get hate for this pick. I'm sorry, Niv. Today is not your day to shine. Like, I'm not going to be able to use it. I can't cast it. It's a 6-drop. It's so expensive. I feel bad. I feel bad, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I didn't get to live the dream. Or I didn't choose to live the dream. Knowing how the rest of this draft has gone, this Mesmerist is going to wheel. I'm going to count on that wheeling. I do think I can take the Murmuring Mystic. I have 5 instants and sorceries. A lot of them have flash, jumpstart, so I can get value out of it. And it might be an aggressive deck, but this is a 4-drop that I can cast and use it to win the game. Dang. I'm so sorry, chat. I mean, there isn't a chat, but YouTube comments. Let me know what you would have taken in that situation. Would you have taken Niv-Mizzet? Would you have taken... Oh my gosh. So the Hypothesizzle, there's another Sonic Assault. There's a Gate. Definitely not taking the Gate here. This is a tricky pick too. I don't really want to take Command the Storm. It's a bit expensive for my liking. If I'd seen the Niv-Mizzet earlier, I could have gone for a more controlling route. I think it's between Hypothesizzle and Sonic Assault. I don't really think Command the Storm is in contention. I'm going to take Hypothesizzle. It is a 5-drop, but I think it's just a little bit better than Sonic Assault. I don't really have any like dedicated removal. And another Mesmerist. Welcome to the team, Mesmerist. The thing is, when you're playing Mesmerist Tribal, you really don't want 6-drops. You just don't. It's between Fresh Face Recruit and Ornery Goblin. Which one's better? I don't think I'm taking Piston Fist here. I think I'm going to take Recruit just because I have the Guildmages Forum, because I think they're really close in general. I could take the Gate, but I'm not going. I'll just do Disdainful Stroke for the sideboard. Got another Gate. Got a Piston Fist. Got that Mesmerist back as I predicted. When you're playing 6 Mesmerists in your deck, you don't really want Niv-Mizzet. That's just how Magic works. I might not even play this Aurelia. Splashing just might not be good enough in this deck. I'm going to cut the Fire Urchin because it's my worst 2-drop. I took a Wojek Bodyguard over Niv-Mizzet. That is the best Wojek I've ever seen. Jesus. Man. If I don't go 3-0 with this deck, I'm going to get hate. I'm not going to play a 3rd Maximize Altitude. I'm not going to play the 4th, is it Guild Gate? I think I'm only going to play 2 Guild Gates. But if I do want to sideboard into a plan where I splash the Aurelia, then that could be really nice. Okay, so my logic behind not taking Niv-Mizzet is I'm not going to... I'm going to lose a lot of the games that get to the point where I'm casting my 6-drop. I can't even necessarily cast it on turn 6 if I have 6... I can't even cast it necessarily even if I have 6 lands, though the fact that I got a ton of Guild Gates would have helped with that. None of my cards really are good in the games where Niv-Mizzet is good, which is a benefit and a con, because like it could win you games that you would have no other way of winning. But like, if I draw my opening hand and Niv-Mizzet is in my opening hand, I feel like I'm going to lose a lot of the games that happens. Also, maybe this hypothesis would have been better as a Sonic Assault. But I like having 2 removal spells. Okay. Definitely on the Mesmerist hype train. 2nd Maximize Altitude could be considered. I think 2 Guild Gates plus the Guildmages Forum is enough. Maybe I would rather play would I rather have Sonic Assault or Maximize Altitude? I think 1-1 split is fine. Yeah, I think this is a good deck. Sort by color. These are all red cards. So it's pretty even split. We can just go 7-7. And I think that this deck is good. We have a little bit of mana sinks thanks to our Guildmages Forum, our Jumpstart cards. We have 4 Jumpstart cards? No, 3. We have 1, 2, 3. 3 Jumpstart cards. Which help our mana. We have a little bit of late game thanks to this. Like because we have 6 instants and sorceries, Murmuring Mystic is probably fine. But yeah, this is the deck. I hope you enjoyed the draft. Let me know what you would have taken. I think that was a really close pick. I think Wojek Bodyguard is just incredible in this deck. So it's really a tricky one. So let me know what you would have done. But I'll see you in the draft, in the matches. Hello, everybody, and welcome to round 1 of this league with Is It Aggro? one quick thing to note is that I did change the deck by one card. I cut a mountain for a maximized altitude because I realized that I had enough spells matter cards to warrant running another spell, and my curve was low enough to warrant running a another. To run one fewer land. Anyway, that was a quick match. This was a good hand, by the way. I was going to keep this turn 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop. A great spell, works really well with the Smeltward Minotaur and the Murmuring Mystic, so this was going to be a good hand, hard for my opponent to win, but he was clearly tilted by something. He mulliganed to 6 and then conceded the match, so yeah, I guess I'll see you for match 2. Hello, everybody, and welcome to round 2 with Is It Aggro? Looks like we're going to have to mulligan this hand. It does only have one land, though there is some thought to keeping it because I do have a couple of 2-drops I could play, and my curve is very low. When you're thinking about this type of hand, you have to think about the upside versus the downside. The upside being that if I do draw a land, I have a bunch of 2-drops I can play. I have 2 2-drops if I don't draw a red source, 4 2-drops if I do draw a red source, and I get to keep all of my resources. Now I just have to calculate in my head the odds of drawing another land. If I have 15 lands left in my deck, because remember I did make that one change, I cut the maximized altitude for cut a land for a maximized altitude, so I have 15 lands left in my deck, and 2 of them are tap lands, which is a little bit relevant here, because if I draw one of those for turn 2, I can't cast a 2-drop on turn 2, which is pretty bad for me. So let's just say I have 13 relevant draws. I have 2 draw steps. I have my first draw step and my second draw step. So I have 33 cards left in my deck. I have 2 draw steps, so that's 1 out of 33 plus... No, it's not 1 out of 33. It's like 13 out of 33 plus 13 out of 33, which ends up being about 26 out of 33. That's not exactly how probabilities work, by the way. It's actually a hypergeometric probability. But that's just something you can do in your head if you're like not at your computer. Since I'm at my computer, I could Google this, but I just want to show you how you can think about it. So I have a pretty decent odds of drawing another land that's untapped. I have greater than 50% chance. But I still think I'm going to mulligan this hand. It just doesn't really do a ton of powerful things, and it's not even like guaranteed to hit. I'm going to put that on the bottom. This is like the exact same hand, but I'm guaranteed to have 2 lands on turn 2. So much better, I think. And I hit my Guild Gate for turn 1. Looking like it's going to be a pretty nice curve out for me. Hopefully he doesn't have a dead weight. And this is where we get to see the power of multiple Mesmerists. It makes it very, very difficult for the opponent to block. Okay. Gonna get rid of Direct Current. Play another Mesmerist. And hit the opponent. I would love to get this Murmuring Mystic down, but it might be hard. Ooh, he's playing 3-color. Demir Locket. Ooh, very slow deck. This is the type of deck I'm built to punish. Pass Wall Adept, sure. And we are going to play our Murmuring Mystic here. Just so that we can start making birds. And then we'll start holding lands. We can play a mountain if we want to get our direct current going, but I do like getting all the cards out of my hand. Okay, so he does kill that. It gets back his Disinformation Campaign. That was the downside, as it provided him a good target for his removal spells, but if I draw a land here, I can empty my hand. That's also a fine draw. I'm just going to get rid of the Pass Wall Adept. Play my Mesmerist. Now I have 3 Mesmerists. He's going to play his Disinformation Campaign, get rid of my Sonic Assault, but that is a very slow play. And I do have him on a 2-turn clock, because this Sonic Assault can deal 2 to him. Yep, so he snipes my Sonic Assault. Another Pass Wall Adept. I'm just gonna play my next Mesmerist. And hope he doesn't have Mephitic Vapors. 4 Mesmerists. Like, he can't block any of my... Like, he can't trade with any of my guys, because they can just shrink his dudes by, like, 6. Rhizome Lurcher, sure. It's a 3/3. It still can't do anything. So, if I just attack with everything... If I tap this, he goes to 8. Attack with everything. I'm just going to attack with everything. And then I'll cast my Sonic Assault on his end step, I think. This is the benefit of having such a low curve deck. And also all the Mesmerists. Yeah, he just can't block. 4 Mesmerists, too good. Oh, that's so good. That is exactly what I like to see. I could bring in Disdainful Stroke. That's the one card I'm considering the most. But I think I'm just going to run it back. My deck is so good. So much power. 6 Mesmerists. I mean, look, I had 4 Mesmerists in play. I mean, that was probably slightly above the curve. But even if I had only 3 Mesmerists in play, I was still in great shape. Because I can still shrink all of his guys and just get in for damage. And if I have another creature, that creature's getting in for damage. If I had a Wojek Bodyguard, just imagine how broken that would have been. So imagine if I'd drawn Niv-Mizzet that game, or if I had a Wojek Bodyguard that game. Which one would have been better? I know that's results-oriented, but we can think that after every game. Because that was definitely the most contested pick. But like, Wojek Bodyguard gets so good when your creatures are like very good at making their guys unable to block. And it's really good with Mesmerists and fresh-faced recruits in particular. Okay, we're going to keep this hand. Very similar to our last hand. Guildmages Forum is going to be a nice little bit of insurance. Barrier of Bones. That is a very good piece of sideboard tech from the opponent if he brought it in out of the board. Because it's pretty good against Mesmerist. Not great against my other cards, but it's great against Mesmerist. I don't know why you wouldn't play the Guildgate turn 1 if you had the option. Next turn, I'm probably going to play the tap land plus the Mesmerist. Darkblade Agent, sure. Well, now I'm not going to do that. Land Leapfrog. I'm just trying to set up a board state here. Disinformation campaign as expected. I'll get rid of my Guildgate because my curve does pretty much end at 4. And I will attack. Shrink that guy. I think I'm going to be able to empty my hand here pretty easily. Okay, so he shrinks that. That's a little bit irritating, but not super irritating. Just going to go Mesmerist, Mesmerist. If he makes me discard, I'll discard my Unexplained Disappearance. And then play the Rebel Belt Boar. Though, if I keep Unexplained Disappearance, I can bounce Darkblade Agent, hit him for 2, 4... No, I'm going to keep the creature. Creatures are really good when you have a lot of Mesmerists in play because they're really hard to deal with. Play the Rebel Belt Boar out. Buff a Mesmerist. Sure. And any gold creatures I draw at this point are going to have an extra counter on them, which is really nice for punching through this 3 toughness wall. Watcher in the Mist, sure. Would I rather have a 3/3 or the 2/3 that can get at additional upside? I think the 2/3. I think, okay, let's just say, if he plays 1 extra creature next turn, and I have a 3/3 in play, I'm just going to think this through because it's one of my only decisions I have this game, really. If I play a 3/3, it unlocks, let's just assume he's playing that other card, the Disinformation next turn. He's going to have 4 extra mana, so let's just say he's played another Darkblade Agent or something like that. He'll have 4 creatures in play. I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 creatures in play. He'll be able to block, 2 of them are going to get through, so it's going to be 4 damage. But if he blocks, he's going to have to block this guy, and he's going to have to chump block one of them. So he would have to actually take a little bit more damage. That being said, I have a lot of spells in the deck. I think that it's worth it to play the Smeltward Minotaur. The Smeltward Minotaur is just going to get in for more damage. If I draw any of my spells, which I have quite a few spells, he concedes. Yep. That's about what you expect when you have so many Mesmerists in play. On to round 3. It's so good! It's so good! Ah! We haven't even drawn Wojek Bodyguard yet. But that game again, think, Niv-Mizzet versus Wojek Bodyguard. I'm an early game deck. I win in the early game. It's not going to get that late. If it gets that late, it probably means I have like no board state. But anyway, that was hysterical. I'm glad I have the second maximize altitude, by the way. My curve is so low that it doesn't really matter. I can afford to run 16 lands easily. Oh yes, this is the curve, guys. Imagine if this was Niv-Mizzet. I mean, I do have 2 Wojeks, so it could have been the other one, but I just want you to imagine. We lost the die roll again, because we are never lucky. Playing an Is It mirror match, potentially. Beam Splitter Mage, okay. I'll bet you I'm more aggressive than you, opponent. I'm not going to trade. It's really risky to play Wojek here. I'm going to play it, though. It's high risk, high reward. Use my mana the best. If he kills my Mesmerist, it's pretty bad, but it maximizes my... Like, you can't play too scared when you're playing this type of deck. That's definitely not the solution. I'll take it. Oh my gosh, there's his Muse Drake. That is the turning point of the game. He plays a Muse Drake, I play a real spell. I'm going to Rubble Pelt Boar. No, I messed that up so badly. I was supposed to buff the Wojek. Oh well, I messed it up. I'll accept it. Yep, I messed that up in a major way. Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite me, but I think it will. Next turn I can Sonic Assault plus Mesmerist. I could have gotten in for an extra point of damage here. I needed to buff up the Wojek so I could get a trigger. Oh, that's so bad. I was telling myself I wasn't going to mess up like that, but I did. It happens. You just got to move on. If he has like a sure strike here, I'm in trouble. That's why I think I might not win this game. But if I survive one more turn, I think I can win, thanks to Sonic Assault. Goblin Electromancer. That's not a good sign. Oh, Chemister's inside. I'm chilling. I'm fine. Let's go. We did it. We're alive. Okay. So this is 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Gonna bounce this guy. Put that in the graveyard. On his upkeep, I'm going to tap this guy. If he does have a sure strike, this is 5, not 8. Electromancer, okay. Okay, he's digging. He's land, sure strike, and we got there. Again, not NicolaiBolas. Niv-Mizzet this game. Wojek Bodyguard. Wojek Bodyguard carried us. We definitely took a risky line there, but it worked out for us because, yeah. Okay, we didn't see any real removal, so maybe Maniacal Rage comes in here, but I don't think so. I think Fire Urchin's an interesting one to consider, but I think we're just going to run it back. I think our deck is great. I think these hyper-aggressive decks are really good in this format if you know how to draft them properly. Let's just think about how good Vedalken Mesmerists has been. We're going to keep this hand. We have a lot of 2-drops, so the odds of us drawing a 2-drop are fairly high. We have like 10 2-drops in our deck. And lands aren't the end of the world either. Especially Mountain, that was a good one. Obviously, I'd love to draw a 2-drop here. Perfect. I would say luck, but the odds were statistically in my favor, I think, of drawing a 2-drop. I think I have like 10 2-drops in my deck, so drawing a 2-drop in my first 2 draw steps is pretty likely. Okay, definitely not going to block that. Okay. So direct current's not being all that effective right now. This is definitely a turn to play my own Piston Fist Cyclops. I want to save my Spells Matter cards, my Leapfrog and my Murmuring Mystic, for when I'm going to cast my spells. I have 2 spells in my hand that both have Jumpstart. So I want to, hopefully I'll draw a land next turn so I can play my Mesmerist. No, so I can play my Murmuring Mystic, because that's when things are really going to get going for me. But I'm still fine, even if I don't. I'm just going to kill the Beam Splitter Mage right now, I think. And then I'll attack with... No, I won't attack. I won't attack. I'm just going to do that so that he doesn't do anything too scary, because it could definitely get terrifying for me real quick. And I do want to flash it back at some point, but after I've played my Murmuring Mystic. Yeah, Muse Drake just is the type of card that he plays it, and I'm glad he spent his turn doing that. Like, it's just too small. It is too small to impact things. I mean, sure, it's fine against Leapfrog, but not when I have Mesmerist. Not when I have the Mesmerists. Oh gosh. Really, buddy? We're definitely going to block. we're on the defensive here. He only has 2 cards left in his hand. We have 5. So even though we're normally the aggressive deck, we do want to be trading off, especially because we're just going to take over the late game with our Murmuring Mystic. Blue-red can't really kill it unless he has a Command the Storm. And we have Hypothesis and Maximize Altitude. Maximize Altitude is going to make us a bird, so it's a really good card right now for us. Okay, perfect. So we're basically incapable of flooding out here. I'm actually kind of glad he's taking a turn off to cast some stuff, because it'll give us an opportunity to make some birds. We're actually going to flash back this Direct Current, I think, this turn. Okay, Guildmages Forum is a good land to draw. We are going to flash back Direct Current, pitching our Maximize Altitude to kill the Goblin Bannerang, just so it can't make anything bigger. Actually, Maximize Altitude makes a bird. The bird plus the extra damage might just be better than Leapfrog. We'll save our decision. We still have Hypothesis that we're probably going to cast soon. So for now, we're just going to do that, play another Mesmerist. We could have honestly probably discarded a Mesmerist, but I think Mesmerist, since we can cast it this turn, is going to be better than Leapfrog. And then we'll attack for 2. We'll only get in for 1 damage, but we aren't blocking anyway. Like, sure, he can trade 1 for 1 now with his Passwell Adept, but then if his Passwell Adept doesn't block, then we're going to be able to get in 2 damage next turn, so it ends up favorable for us. He does have a decent number of cards in hand. But if he taps out for something, I can Hypothesis it, presumably. Get another bird, be in good shape. Okay, he has a bunch of 1/3s. Yep. This could work out really nicely for me. If I draw a land, I could just go Maximize Altitude, Flashback, Maximize Altitude, which is what I think I'll do if I draw a land. Okay, Fresh-Faced Recruit is a 3/2 first striker, is pretty appealing. So what I am going to do is I'm going to Maximize Altitude my Mesmerist, make another bird, play Fresh-Faced Recruit. Because I do want to cast this earlier, because I do want to get my bird as soon as possible. Now I'm going to be hitting him for 4. Combat. Sure, we'll shrink that guy, why not? And then I'll play my 3/2 first striker attacker. This is why Guildmages Forum is pretty good in this deck, because I do have a lot of gold cards. Okay, so now this is a 3/2 attacker. It can just punch through all of his guys. Wow, this is just working very well. Another thing with the Niv-Mizzet, I know I keep bringing that up, but it was kind of something, is I had the Guildmages Forum, and this is just something, I wasn't thinking about it at the time, but I was thinking about it in retrospect. Having the Guildmages Forum means that if you get up to 6 lands, you might not even be able to cast it, because you have a colorless land, and the colorless land is definitely worth running, so. You just cast Radical Idea. Spinning his wheels a little bit. He looks like he's trying to draft a similar deck to me, but he didn't like get there as well as I did. Okay, sure. You got your unblockable guy. So I can't jump with my bird. Wojek Bodyguard. I think I'm just going to Hypothesis will kill his Muse Drake. It's just the only card that really matters here. Discard a... I'd rather have the 3/3, probably the 3/3. The 3/3 is going to be a good body. Though bouncing the Leapfrog is appealing too. I think I'm actually going to kill the... Passwell Adept? Which card do I want to discard? Killing Passwell Adept is definitely a line. I think killing the Passwell Adept is probably correct. What do I discard, though? This is going to be a bird plus the token, so I'm going to get rid of the bodyguard. It also has an immediate impact. Get rid of the pass while adept. Because now he can't just get through for damage, like chip damage. Let's just attack like this. Shrink these two guys. Sure, he can block them, but he's still taking a decent hit. I meant to attack with this bird, by the way. I thought I clicked on it. That's my V. And now I have this extra card to discard to maximize altitude. Oh man, I meant to attack with this bird. Feels bad, man. I thought I clicked it. I'm trying to play as clean as I can. Hypothesis. Book Devourer. Okay, I'm glad I kept the Unexplained Disappearance, because that's a card that's harder to shrink with my Mesmerists. I'm also glad I cast the Hypothesis because I can't deal with that card anyway. Okay, perfect. Do I have enough mana to do everything? This costs 3. No, I don't. Okay, I think I'm just going to go Unexplained Disappearance. Plus the Fresh-Faced Recruit. He's splashing white for something. Good to know. Graveyard. Do I have him dead if I just cast the Maximize Altitude? If I Maximize Altitude to Mesmerist, he's going to take 3, 6, 9. Oh no, but he can jump. He can block 1 of the damage. Attack with everything. If he was at 10, you might be dead. Okay, so if I attack with everything, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I would be 12 damage, so we'd have to block some things. I'm just gonna, let's just see. So if I maximize altitude this guy, I have 3, 6, 9 power flying, so there's no real point attacking with the ground guys, because this guy's gonna shrink this guy and then nothing. I guess this isn't a flyer, so I would probably, okay, he held this guy back, so it would end up trading off. This is a combat trick, I don't really care even. I think I just attack with everything. Giving this flying doesn't really do a ton here, while making an extra 3/2 first striker really kind of makes things a little bit better for me. Shrink that guy, shrink that guy. And I know that one of his cards is this Book Devourer, so I'm not like afraid of a 2-card combo right now. He could definitely go Book Devourer, Maximize Velocity, but I still don't think that's enough. 3, 6, 7. Because I can just block Leapfrog. Because it's only 4, 7, 8, 9 damage. 10 damage because of the Maximize Velocity. So even with just this bird back, I'm not afraid of that. If I didn't have a blocker and he did 6 to my face, then he could kill me. But if he did 6 to my face and then leapfrogged and then maximize velocity to leapfrog, that would be another way. But since I have this extra blocker, it doesn't matter. That's why playing the blocker is better as well. Radical idea, probably. Yeah. If I lose this game, it's entirely my fault. But I'm struggling to think of a combination of cards where I lose. Because I'm just going to block. Maybe attacking with this guy was not worth it. But I still don't think it's... Okay. Okay. Okay, he discarded an island. No, he discarded Book Devourer. So if I lose this game, I'm going to be like a complete joke. It was close. 3, 7, 10, 11. Blocking here. Blocking here. Boom! We got the W. The 3-0. I mean, granted, that first round wasn't really a round, but dang, this deck performed. 16 lands. I definitely am glad I ran 16 instead of 17 because those extra spells really. I think there is no real reason not to run 16 lands in this deck because of the curve. But dang, who knew that taking Wojek Bodyguard over Niv-Mizzet? I mean, obviously I wouldn't do that pack one, pick one, but like in the situation, I think it was correct and it worked out really well. I'm glad I played the Maximize Altitudes just because the Piston Fist synergy, the Murmuring synergy, the Leapfrog synergy, Smelt Ward. Overall, the deck performed really well. I think this is an archetype you can draft. Underdrafted for sure because nobody values Mesmerist the way I do. I really feel like I'm the one that like values Mesmerist the highest of like every drafter ever. I don't know why, but I feel like people undervalue it a ton still. So you can definitely manage to get this archetype. I mean, I got 6 of them. I got one second to last pick in a pack, so that's what the people online think of it at least. But yeah, let me know what you think of the deck. Let me know what you think of the way I played. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to leave a comment if you have anything to say. Be sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. But that's going to do it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you next time.